Now I'm going to share the PPT. It's ready. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible? Yeah, fine. Everything is okay, fine. Okay. Right, students. Anyhow, actually, previously we have discussed many things regarding all these things. Understanding, first of all, we want to understand what is the particular core subject. Then we can build many particular student. He should understand what he is reading. That's why I given very, very simple lectures on taxonomy. Anyhow, today we are going to see about the orders. So very first order students will go like this: jelly salts. So this is the newly added order students. If you see some 10 to any chances in your university library, especially in Coimbatore library or even in Uttar Pradesh library, you just see those old textbooks. You find only 10 orders. Later on, this have been added newly, so that later on it was converted into 12 orders. So if you're coming to the point, I'm discussing this jelly salts. The format element is L. This L we will use in this thing. In grade groups, we will grade groups and suborders. We will use this format element. So jelly salts mostly these are formed in the predominantly frozen areas, completely frozen areas, Arctic and Antarctic. So there is no chance of going to Antarctic well, but we can see some frozen areas. Frozen areas means you can expect the salts in some Himalayan range regions or somewhere the highly frozen conditions are there. There you can find the jelly salts. So mostly, there will be this cryoturbation will be more student. This freezing and thawing conditions will be more. So permafrost influence was very high in this type of conditions. Mostly this type of soils having highly restricted due to this icy condition, this frosting condition, permafrost conditions, there is a restricting growth development from the plant. Mostly this jelly salts are highly covered in the entire world. Only 9% was have been covered where the world's glacial free land surface. So only you can see only 9% you can see. So all of a sudden, if I say some jelly layer also you can found, some jelly layers we can found. So this jelly salts are completely evidence of permafrost near the soil surface. Mostly you can see freezing conditions. We can see some cryoturbation, freezing and thawing conditions. You can see in jelly salts. Coming to the histosols. Histosols means all of a sudden what you'll get in your mind.
Organic matter rich.
Yeah.
Stick.
Yes, stick organic soils. Okay.
Stick horizon.
Yeah, histic horizon. Yes. Because students, here you can see completely composing of organic material in the upper portion, students. Complete organic. So you can see highly competitive. Mostly, commonly what kind of orders you can see here? Some bogs, moor, peatlands, mucks. These are all the undecomposed. Intermediate of peat soils, muck soils. You have all this partially decomposed materials will be looks like this: peat, muck, moorlands and peatlands, muck licks, all these things, fence, all the partially decomposed matters will be there. So, students, mostly the soils are organic matter. What kind of organic matter you can expect? You can expect some leaves, mosses, grass decompositions, and more slowly than accumulated due to the decrease in microbial decay. So, the accumulation of organic matter is more than the decay. That's why the soils are containing highly, we can see the highly organic matter content we can see. So the most often extremely we can where we can say so this mostly occurs in which kind of climatic conditions. This is very important, students. Extremely wet areas underwater, that means submerged conditions. Extremely wet areas and underwater conditions. So what kind of the soil moisturism can you expect here? The questions will be like this.
Saturated.
What? Jose, I can't hear you. Aquatic. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. So due to the mostly we can say very slow decomposition and microbial decay when compared to microbial decay, accumulation of leaves and moss and grass conditions are very high. So These are most often extremely under wet areas and conditions we can see. So histosols can be highly productive students. So the soils are highly productive when it has a proper drainage conditions, when it has drained conditions. However, students, whenever this drainage was provided, histosols can decompose rapidly. So they all the decompose when the complete proper drainage was proposed, what will happen? The decomposition will be very high, and we can see some other soils will like dramatically you can see lot of changes we can see in this type of soils in this soils. So mostly they are also not stable foundations or roadways and may highly acidic. Istos also you can't lay roads or you can't do anything in this because these are very highly acidic conditions because microbial conditions, organ decomposition always be taking place. Mostly you can say around 1% accumulation in this world you can say this istos also. This is importance of this soil. Mostly under which conditions you can see extremely wet areas or under water conditions you can see this type of histosols. And remember, students, in histosols, accumulation of organic matter is very high when compared with microbial decay. That's why you can see highly accumulation of organic conditions. So there is a more than actually if I want to say more than 40% of organic matter accumulation will be occurred in the histosols. That's why the soils are called organic soils. In a simple word, you have to say. This is regarding the histosols. And coming to another one is called spodosols. No, spodosols. Mostly this looks like a wood ash. In Greek word, spodos is ash, wood ash. That's the meaning of spodosols. So among them more attractive cells. What are they? Actually, you read this point and you see this image. They are often dark surface underlaid by ashy gray layer. Dark surface, ashy gray layer, which is subsequently underlaid by the reddy, rusty, coffee colored or black subsoil origin. See, reddy, rusty or coffee color subsurface origin. You can observe this. So why this happens? Why this color? All the situation will happen because these soils has a rainfall interact with acidic vegetation litter conditions. Remember, students, why this for? What is the main character? These acidic vegetative litter, such as needles of coniferous, mostly in coniferous forest, you can see. Mostly in I think in Kodaikanal, yeah, in Kodaikanal or Ooty, there is one forest, pine forest. You can see there. You can see this type of conditions. So these soils are highly rainfall, interact with acidic vegetative litters such as you can see needles of coniferous, some other organic acids. So that's why you can see all these things. As it was completely acidic conditions, naturally the iron aluminum dissolving also is very hard. So that's why we can extra we can see this ashy color due to this elevation process, due to this elevation means washing out. All the alluvial we can get this ashy gray color horizontal. At the same time, the dissolved material which was moved, whatever the material was dissolved here was completely moved, elevated. We can see the subsurface, we can expect this type of colors. That's why we can see great textural contrast between these two layers. So sometimes sandy layers under the coniferous, under which type of conditions you can see this type of spodosols under coniferous vegetation in humid regions of the world. So under this climatic conditions, you can expect the spodosols formation. So mostly they are very acidic students, and naturally they are very low in fertility, low in clay. So naturally there is a highly acidic, so acidity is more. So naturally we can't expect any nutrient uptake because of low fertility and low clay content. Mostly you can say around the coverage of this podosols around 4% in the 4% is covered in this world. So this is regarding the spodosols. So what are the things you have to remember in spodosols? Here you can see some ashy gray layers, some dark colors will be there, some coffee color or rusty color you can see in subsurface soils. So all this happens why? Because the rainfall, whatever the rainfall is there, is completely interacted with the acidic vegetative litter such as needles of coniferous forest. So all of a sudden what you get in this? So what you get in your mind? So all of a sudden, the soil can be found only in coniferous vegetation, that too in a humid region of the world. We can see as it was very highly acidic conditions, the aluminum dissolving will be very more. So what will happen? All the material will be leached off, elevated, EL students. My uttering of words will be, sounds very similar, but be careful. Elluvial. So everything will be washed out, so we will get the gray color, and all these things will be appearing down. All the oxides, everything will be going to subsurface soils. So you can see some rusty or coffee color conditions we can see here. So this is regarding the spodosols. Students, okay. The format element is I forgot to say it is odd. You will in grade groups while using grade groups grade groups or suborders we can see this. You can use this format elements. So coming to this, another one is called andisols. So andisols means what do you say all of a sudden? What is the meaning of andisols? If it is
Volcanic
the word andi,
soils.
volcanic soils, especially Japanese. In Japanese means ando means black soils mostly. In volcanic soils, so mostly these are the resulting from the volcanic materials, students. Volcanic materials and which have those. So what is that? So you can expect very poor crystalline structure will be there, and also unusually high capacity of holding both nutrients. So these minerals, unusual high capacity of holding nutrients and water, making soil very productive and fertile. Actually, this is these are comes under volcanic ash conditions will be there. So what you can say, all the crystal structure will be there. So most of the minerals, all these things will be hold in this soil. So whenever the minerals were holding in the soil means what is there? You can expect this is a very fertile soil. So that's why we can say this. They are so naturally these are volcanic soils as I said. We can see these are weakly weathered soils, much of volcanic glass, and as well as more strong. We can see both weakly weathered volcanic ash as well as we can see more strongly weathered soils. So you can see both the conditions. So that typically occurs in which area? Which kind of climatic conditions? Moderate to high rainfall and cool temperatures. They also tend to high erodibility when on this slope. So when this type of soils are conditions, if you observe any slopes, what will happen? Due to the heavy rainfall, you can see some erodibility also is there. So mostly only 1% you can expect this type of andisols in this entire world. So this is regarding the andisols. Andisols means not formative means and students. So andisols means nothing but these are the volcanic formed soils, andisols. Okay, students. Coming to the next is called oxysoils. So what kind of climatic conditions we can expect here? Please, students, please, if you are maintaining any note means, please note down these words. Climatic conditions, typical characters are very important. Okay, please note down all those things. So oxysols, mostly in French words is oxide. So mostly you can see where you can find mostly tropical, subtropical regions we can find highly dominated with iron oxides, quartz, and highly weathered clay mineral, such as kyanite we can expect. So mostly students, you know, the differentiation, so most of the part was nearly futureless soils without clearly marked layers because highly weathering conditions will be there. So you can't find any clear cut measures between the horizons, and these are very low fertility and can be managed, can be made productive through wise use of fertilizers and lime. Only we can go for some liming, and so by using some very organized or very scientific way of using fertilizers only, we can go for some production in this type of oxy soil. So these are the highly weathered soil, students. There is a meaning. Last time in 2019, this question was came in for SRF students. As in SRF, they have asked these questions. So mostly students and oxy soils are found almost 8% will be there. So what are the points you have to remember? The soils are completely formed in tropical and subtropical regions, mostly dominated by the iron oxides and quartz and highly weathered clay minerals such as kyanite. So these are typically gently sloping lands. We can see on gently sloping lands we can found of a great age, stable for a long time. And the clear cut difference you can't find between the layers or between the horizons because of highly weathering, because all the futureless, because most of the part was weathered, highly soils. And if you want to go for any cultivations, you have to go for some liming, and you have to use very proper you should manage fertilizers very properly, then only we can go for oxysols. So this is regarding the oxysol, students. So oxysols means highly weathered soils. And coming to our very famous, most of are very familiar with these Indian conditions, but those are called the vertisols. These are highly clay rich soils. You can see some swelling and shrinking will be there. You can see some cracks. We can see sometimes we can see more than 1 meter will be there. The deepness of that crack. So like this, these are highly fertile soil, students, because of more clay content. And if you construct any type of engineering construction in this type of soils, definitely there you can see some cracks in the walls. That's why that's why most of the engineers will be bothered. So anyhow, that is engineers problem. What is the problem? What are the benefits for agriculture? So as there is a more clay, there more clay, more nutrients will be there. The only thing we can see is this swelling and shrinking you can expect. So more clay, more fertility things we can expect here. So mostly swell and dry, the movement of cracks will be there. So vertices is located in area under underlying parameter allow for the forming of expansive clay mineral. Expanding clay mineral means mostly 2:1 monomolar type of clay mineral. We can expect around 2% thing we can expect. Only 2% we can expect this type of soils in this entire world. This is regarding the vertisols. Coming to the aridisols. Aridisols mostly where the arid conditions. Mostly arid soils where the restriction, so actually there is no water, there is restricted soil, weathering will be there, and also frequent accumulation of some salts, gypsum you can expect, and also found in and mostly found in hot and cold deserts in the worldwide. So you can mostly in hot and cold weather in worldwide you can expect this highly accumulation of salts. We can expect gypsum. We can that's why in Rajasthan the gypsum is always will be digged off because of the accumulation of all these things. And mostly we can see some mesophytic plant vegetation you can observe. So these are the arid soils, means these are arid zone soils. They are where the precipitation rainfall is very less. We can see arid soils. Mostly they occupy around 12 percentage of Earth glacial land, including some dry valleys of Antarctica. Maybe I don't know because I get in some one book. There's some dry valleys you can expect in arid soils and altisols. So altisols, so most of these soils are formed in humid area residence and intensely weathered. They are typically contain subsoil horizon that has appreciable amount of translocated clay and relatively acidic. So this is the great ultimate altisols. Ultimate, they are almost everything was weathered. Mostly you can expect some humid conditions. So most nutrients are held in upper centimeters of the altisols, and these soils are generally low in fertility, although they become more productive with the addition of fertilizer and lime. Actually, if you add some fertilizer properly, if you add some lime and fertilizer, you can convert these lands into agriculture purpose. Mostly altisols are up to 88% you can expect. You can expect some 8 percentage of this type of altisols conditions we can expect. Another one is called mollysols. Mollysols are highly fertile students. They have dark color and have a high fertile soils and rich in bases. So it has all calcium, magnesium. Mollysols are very good fertilizers. So they have a dark surface origin from nearly addition of organic matter to the soils from the roots of arid vegetation. So present native vegetation will add more this black color. So mollysols are often found pronounced in climates with the dry seasons, often found in climates with dry seasons. They approximately around 7% you can expect of glacial salts. This is regarding the mollysols, formitinous ore. And finally, alphisols. Alphisols, aluminium oxide. So these are all somewhat similar to the altisol students, but less intensely weathered and less acidic when compared to altisols. So they tend to more inherently fertile than altisols and located in a similar climatic conditions, typical in forest vegetation. You can see this type of alpisols. So they are the most common that altisols occurs around only 10%. So alpisols only occurs only around 10% of the glacial free land surface. And another called inception, inceptisols. And personally, in my area, especially in Andhra, southern Andhra Pradesh, especially in the districts of Ongole, you can see this type of only very small amount of soil, some weather soil will be there, and rust all you can see only regolith. So weathering was very limited. So moderate degree of soil development you can expect here, and significant clay accumulation in the subsurface, very somewhat significant. They occur wide range of parametric and climatic conditions. There is no, because particularly in my area, it is somewhat Mediterranean climate. We can see very cold winter and we can see very high summers. That's the situation here. So you can see these inceptions just started. Inception was just initiated the weathering. So the range of conditions they are extensive, occupying approximately 17 percentage. So these are the major amount of soils we can expect in this world. Around there 17 percentage of this type of soils has been seen. And finally, which is we came to antisols. So in this type, you can't expect any diagnostic origins, because these are the soils are completely formed from the depositions, sediments. All the sediments and often placed deposits we can see. So some tropical landforms like antisols are located, including some active food, plain duns, landslides. So there we can expect. So because here you can't see any type of diagnostic origins we can say, and mostly we can activate these type of soils are most active in flood conditions, plain duns, landslides behind the retained glaciers. There we can say fine. Most of 16 percentage we can say antisols are the second largest groups after inceptisols. So inceptions and antisols are the stand between 1 and 2 positions respectively. So this is regarding the antisols. Antisols are nothing empty because there is no horizons will be there. All the sediments depositions only you can expect in this type of soils. This is regarding the antisols. Now, okay, students. Now I'm starting on animation. Please follow this because this is a revision of my previous slides. Okay, students, are you ready? Please note down. Please take your all your notes, everything. Just follow this. So very first, anti soils. So these soils very recent, only sediments we can see. And finally, you can start by in wet and tropical forests, extremely weathering conditions, low active clay and a clay, iron aluminum oxides. With iron and aluminum oxides, we can expect oxysols, formation of oxysols. Some oxides we can see. And later on, we can see deep accumulation of organic matter in wet conditions. You can expect the formation of histosols. They are organic soils. Those are called the organic soils. And next is called the very cold and permafrost, very icy, very frosting conditions. You can expect the formation of jelly soils. Next, desert shapes and grassy. All the deserts means almost arid soil, dry conditions, and grassy lands, some native grassy lands. You can expect the arid soil formation in this type of climatic conditions. And another one is called moist, mildly acidic, and clay accumulation. Very somewhat moist and mildly acidic, as we discussed. So mildly acidic clay conditions, if you see, that is called the alphesols. And if you see wet, usually warm forest, acid, silica, and alum condition. These are strongly acidic clays means you can see those soils are called the altisols. And next is called, if it is a mild weathering on volcanic ejection. So if you see those are the mild weathering, you can see some mild weathering will be there under volcanic ejecta conditions means we can see those soils are called antisols. Those are mostly volcanic ejected conditions. And another one, mild weathering beyond under various conditions. So inception, beginning. So beginning. So it just was initiated. Mild weathering conditions will be there. Conditions may be various, students. Under various conditions, you can expect inception. And coming to the what is also, you can say high basis is there, high active clay is there, and dry conditions. You can say some swelling clays we can expect. That is comes under the what is also. And another one is called semi-arid and moist grassland and mollic epipedon. You can expect those are called the soft rock conditions. These are fertile soils mostly. So the soft and dark conditions will be the molic soils. So another one is called spodosols, cool, wet sand and acidic coniferous plant conditions. We can expect some spodosols. If it is a coniferous forest, you can expect some spodosols. We can expect some spodic also. So this is regarding the formation. What are the different type of climatic conditions you can expect? All these things are mentioned in this slide. So students, when you're moving from this to here, the degree of weathering and soil development will be more. This is what I mentioned here. Degree of weathering will be increased by if you're moving from here to here. Here weathering will be more, but we can't discriminate between the horizons. Was very difficult in oxysols because the completely highly weathered conditions will prevail in these conditions. Here in histosols or even inception will be started, just initiated. We can't expect much soils. This is regarding the histosols. And another one. So this is just the same thing which I presented in my animation was repeated here. This is what the same thing was repeated. This is for your reference purpose. These are the same thing, students. Just for understanding the same thing what I have explained, I've kept here in a very point wise manner. You can see the same thing in DK Das reference book. So with that, thank you very much. Highly patience and be listening to my lecture. Thank you very much, students, for listening this class. Any doubts regarding this lecture, students? I'm ready to share.